Hey my cheesy fam, it's me, Casey Quesadilla again. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I will go ahead and tell you I do have a script typed out for it. This is obviously not the script, but I do have a script typed out for it. So if you see me glancing down, it's just because I'm trying to read and I don't have my glasses on because of this thing. I had a bad hair day this morning, so also just a little update. This morning my phone stopped working and so I had to be on the phone with Apple Care for about 10-15 minutes, and then I was online with Apple Care before Apple Care opened. So that was fun. So anyways, let's get into the video. Today's video is going to be a little different. We're going to talk about an amazing website that focuses on empowering women. This incredible site is called womenwithgifts.org. Womenwithgifts.org not only helps women through rough times, but they also feature other amazing women who have dealt with or are going through similar situations to help you know that you're not alone. Sorry, like I said, I have my glasses off, so. I also didn't want it to reflect the circle light that I have right here, so. I had the amazing pleasure of being one of their guest bloggers where I wrote about the stereotypes women have endured through the years. It was really cool. I really enjoyed writing it. They actually spoke about it in their last broadcast, which was really cool. I'm gonna link that video, I'll link the video down below, and I'll also link to the blog post, and I'll link to all the other blog posts as well. I'll probably just actually link to the website so you guys can go check it out, explore it a little bit, see how it goes, and stuff like that. Okay, however, that's not where it stops. I asked them if there was anything specific they wanted me to try and include in this video, and they did not disappoint. One topic that really stood out to me was accepting yourself as a woman. Now, this is going off script a little bit, so I'm trying to like condense it a little bit because I want to use this in part of a blog post for it, so they can feature that as well, if they want to. So for me specifically, I've always had a hard time accepting myself as a woman because I never thought that I was girly enough. I never thought that I had enough of like a feminine vibe or whatever. So I was just like, oh, well, maybe I'm not supposed to be like, not like an identity crisis or anything like that. I was fortunate enough not to have to go through that. And anybody that's going through that and still comes out on top, more power to you, because that, just thinking about it gives me anxiety. And anybody that's gone through that and has come out knowing exactly who they are, you're super strong, and that's super cool. It's really awesome to know that you've gone through that and you've made it to where you are today. Oh, it has a timer to turn off, apparently. Guess we're going back with a little yellow lighting. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So when I was growing up, it wasn't something that I always wanted to do. I didn't want to dress girly. And I thought that because I didn't do that, maybe I wasn't being a girl like I needed to be. Yet all the stereotypes, everything like that was still thrust upon me. Even though I was just like, I don't want to do that. So either way, it happened. Now, alright, so I'm gonna go back on the script now. Accepting yourself is hard enough as it is, but arguably being a woman makes things a slight bit harder. Now, that's not to take away the struggles of any of our equals. If you're transgendered, if you are a man, if you are a feminine man, anything like that. I'm not trying to take away any of that. I promise you. I promise you that. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I am trying to do is for people that still think that women are just big complainers, which, there are still people out there that think that. I just want people to know that that's not who we are. That's not how women behave. That's not how a lot of women try not to behave that way. Try to put things aside that affect them greatly because of that specific issue, because of that issue that people see that, or people hear a woman complaining and they think, oh, well, she just likes to complain. No, that's not it. Anyways. Oh, I had a really good analogy for this. Okay, so now that isn't to take away from the struggles of any of our equals, because we all do go through struggles. To say one is worse than the other is like comparing apples and oranges, but both of them are rotten. See, that one was good. I like that one. It was great. I geeked out so much about that when I came up with it. I was just like, I probably didn't even come up with that, but I thought about it. I probably saw it somewhere, honestly, and I don't remember where. It was probably in passing, or I heard someone say it. Now, any of you that have been watching my videos for a while know that my style is ever changing, and I've grown into my confidence, but it wasn't always like that. And I've made blog posts about this. I've made videos about this. I wasn't ever super confident in myself when I was a kid. I still am struggling with confidence, but I've grown into it a lot. As you may have noticed, there is one big difference that you didn't notice before. Or you probably did, you just didn't say anything about it, but anyways. I do have a nose piercing now. I didn't get one done for a long time because I was afraid of how everybody was going to react. I was afraid how my mom was going to react, my dad was going to react, my brother was going to react, my grandparents were going to react, everybody. I was so terrified of how everybody was going to react that I didn't think about, you want to do it for you. That's not what I thought. I was just like, you want to make sure everybody else is happy with the decision that you made. And that's not the way that I needed to do with that. And I finally went through with it, and I absolutely love it. I'm thinking about getting the other nostril done, and just because I think it's cute. I love it. I think it's adorable. And so for a long time, the fact that I was lacking confidence ruled my life, and it does a lot of women's lives, a lot of people's lives. Just because in a society that we've basically been told we have to make sure that everybody likes us, we haven't been told that the most important person that should like you is yourself. Because you can go through life and you can be loved by the masses or whatever, but if you don't love yourself, you're not going to be happy. And I know that it's easier said than done. And trust me, I've been on this roller coaster for years. There's still times where I'm just like, oh, well, someone complimented me on this, so obviously that's not something that I wanted to do. And obviously they didn't know that me being me is just awful at this, blah, blah, blah. Which is part of the reason why, and I'm going to deviate from womenwithgifts.org just a smidge. But part of the reason that I created the Penny for Your Thoughts campaign was because of that confidence issue. Because I wasn't letting myself hear the positives that were coming through. I was taking them, I was deconstructing them, and I was just like, oh, they said this, but what they really meant was this. And that was one of the biggest reasons that I made that campaign, because I know what it's like to go through life not feeling worthy of anybody really, and not feeling this certain way, not feeling confident in yourself. And I don't want anybody else to feel that way. I want to show people that it's perfectly fine to be confident with who you are. It's perfectly fine to sit there and be yourself. Being yourself is the best thing you can do for yourself. And I know that if you're going through struggles, it may not seem like it's possible. You know, for a long time, for me, it wasn't possible. And then finally, I got a good phone camera. I even had a camera actually at one point, and I started recording some videos, and I was just like, that was actually pretty cool. And, you know, the evolution of Queso Quesadilla kind of speaks for itself, where I started off really timidly, and then I grew into, hey everybody, it's me, Queso Quesadilla, and then, you know, I started calling out my cheesy fam. Which, that actually really like scared me, because I was just like, oh, I'm gonna have no subscribers after that because nobody wants to be called cheesy. But luckily enough, everybody was really cool about it, and everybody actually really liked it. So anyways, so where was I gonna go? Okay, so for example, and going back to my script that I went off script, which we all knew was gonna happen, to be quite honest. So, like, for an instance, my dad saw my nose piercing, and instead of saying, you know, he was just like, he did the basic dad thing. He's just like, but your face was so pretty before. Like, obviously he still thinks I'm pretty. He still thinks that I'm, you know, his little girl and everything like that. But he was just like, but your face was perfect. And I was just like, it really wasn't, but okay. But the reason he even asked about it was because he actually asked me if I had low self-esteem because I was doing all of this. And it made me think, and I was like, I actually don't, not anymore. My self-esteem is at an all-time high, actually. Which a few years ago, I would have told you my low self-esteem is at an all-time low. And I actually had to think about it for a minute, and I thought about it ever since. And I was just like, I don't feel like I have low self-esteem about this. I feel like I love the way it looks. I love the way it makes me feel. If you follow me on Instagram, I have been posting so many pictures on Instagram of it because I can put it in black and white, but you still see it sparkling because of the light, which is still really cool, so I really like it. Anyways, getting back to, enough of that, of my brief story time, which took up most of the video, and I apologize. The reasoning for this brief story was to show you that instances like this, no matter how infinitesimal you may think it is, that's why womenwithgifts.org exists. That is the reason that they created this amazing site. Now, I know that they're not, you know, it's not something that's just like, women are better than everybody, blah. No, that's not what it is. And anybody that sees that usually thinks, you know, I'm just in the mindset of people that think women are just these creatures that complain and complain and complain and complain. They think, you know, oh, well, they made this because women think they're better than men. That's not what women think. Women think that they're equal to men. Women think that everybody's equal. And a lot of people do have that mentality, especially nowadays. So this website, and it's amazing, it's incredible. And I've had the great pleasure of being able to watch one of her broadcasts. Granted, it was after the fact that it happened, but still yet I watched it. And I'm gonna definitely try my best to make sure that I can watch them from now on. Whenever it pops up on my screen that womenwithgifts.org started a broadcast, I'm gonna try my best to be able to watch it. So the point of this website is to bring women together to help support one another and let them know they're loved just by being themselves. Because being yourself, like I said, is something that you can do for yourself, and you'll think you will be so much happier being able to be 100% you, because you won't have to put on a front for anybody. And a lot of times, especially what I've noticed, is once you start being yourself, people notice that you smile a lot more, and they notice that you're happier in general. Like my parents, for example, they said that, you know, they see me happier. They see me smiling a lot more, as opposed to middle school and high school. I was sad all the time, and I just didn't know that was a thing. That I didn't understand that mental health and mental issues were a big part of growing up, and if they weren't addressed, it can affect your life. And knowing now what I know, that's exactly why I've started this channel. And that's exactly why I have no problem speaking on behalf of these women, that they 100% made sure that this was okay. I went off script a little bit, and I apologize for that. But I do go off script quite a bit sometimes. But anyways, until next time, I love you all so, so much. And stay cheesy, my friends. Love you guys. Bye!